beautiful people. Okay, so this is kind of a funny, silly one, but I'm going to take you on the adventure with me. So, this area in the front of our home where when my customers come in, they can sit down and play with all the fun stuff, and then they can come in here if they want to play with more. But it's like this beautiful sitting area. And so I've had in my mind the way I wanted it to look for like almost the past 2 years that we've lived here. And like it just hasn't quite come together. And so my girlfriend that owns a business, she was going to get rid of this beautiful, like high backed, it was like a shabby chic um, settee. We'll call it a settee. And it did need to be recovered, but it was going to be for the bargain price of $50. So can any of us complain? No. So we can figure all that out. Well, one of the people that also owns that with her decided she would just borrow it for the weekend. And I'd already told them like months ago, hey, it's mine. I'm taking it. She'll send you money. They were like, no, just bring it when you come. So I was like, okay. So the girl decided to have, she was having a photo op. And it is like a perfect piece of furniture for that, y'all. So that went great. She took it with her. But in the return trip, it fell out of the truck. Can you even believe it? And so one of the beautiful arms is very ragged looking and not near as beautiful. So I was like, okay, I cannot. And they totally released me from it. It was awesome. But I was like, I am gonna have to do something different. So I just been looking, kind of praying about it. And then actually, we love it when this happens. I got a little unexpected treat, a little bonus from my company, and I was like, huh. I wonder, should we put it toward vacation fund? Just thinking all the thoughts. And great facial, just something pampering. And remember when I did the fun story about Lufkin, Texas, and how we met my dad there and the cute bistro that we love, Restoration Bistro. Hello to my new friend, Emily. All my new friends, because then when we went back, I met Gracie, Robbie, and Honey. So, anyway, cutest little town, cutest everything. Well, when we were there, and I'll see if Danny can put a little picture up here. We were walking around after my dad had already left and just enjoying the downtown. But we turned the corner, y'all, and there was this humongous, I've never seen a chair this huge. Like the seat of the chair probably came to my neck when I'm standing. And then, it was the rest of my chair. So more than two joyous high. And I was like, look at that. Let's go look at that. Let's take a picture. And I didn't even know what kind of store it was, but it was a consignment shop. And so we decided, oh, what the heck? It's hot outside. We'll browse. And my eyes landed on this chair about halfway through the store. And I was like, oh my gosh. Okay, so to also give you the perspective, do you love to know the behind the scenes story? So this beautiful dining room table, I feel like we might have found it at Haverty's, but the one I wanted before, y'all, I had found online, and the chairs all had like the cream chairs. But then the writing on the back, I call it like, it's like gray French writing, French words. And it ended up, it was going to be too small for this big area. But that was what originally I had thought would look so great in here. And so I've always loved that look, like cream within that writing on the back or on the pillow, or in that dining room set, it was on the bench. And so anyway, I was looking at this cream chair and I was like, oh, it has those little, I don't know what those nail head maybe are called. Love that. That would kind of go with the couch. And then I was like, oh, it has something around the side. And they were really tall and huge, like the settee was. Well, it had that writing. And there actually happened to be two of them. They were like back to back, but I only looked at the one. So then I couldn't get it out of my mind. We came back to Louisiana. We've been doing 1,000 things because it's June and the last month of our fiscal year, shutting down our big goals. And Danny was like, well, let me just see if maybe there could be something, a little cheaper. And I think they were $460. So I just assumed each. So anyway, he ended up finding that exact store in Lufkin online. And they were $460 for both. So like that was better. And so then I was like, okay, what do we think? How would we, you're trying to plot and plan and draw it out. Like, how could it look? And so he was like, well, here's the number in case you want to call. And so, and he a great sport. So I ended up calling them on the way to a Mary Kay event, actually. And the guy was like, oh yeah, it is consignment. And I was like, so I've never done that before. Is that like, can you offer a different price? Or is it like, you know, all the other furniture stores where they'd be like, haha, you're so funny. The price that it says is the price that it is. And he was like, well, actually, it will continue to go down. So what I am authorized to tell you is, in the next 5 days, it would go down to $366 for the two of them together. I was like, what? Oh, because another thing, Danny, when he was looking online, like that same chair, not consignment, just buying it brand new for yourself. It was going to be, I think he said $800 each. $800 each. Okay, so then for it to be $366 for the both, I was like, whoa, paper, right? So anyway, I was like, so how does that work? Because I'm in Louisiana, and he said, well, there was a girl actually just in here looking at him, and I was like, oh dang. And he said, so it's just like anything, first come, first serve. So I was like, let me just pull over and give him my credit card. I'd never even looked at the other chair. I mean, talk about faith in action, right? And but what was also so perfect, because my new friend Emily had wanted some Mary Kay, and I had made her a fun little goodie bag to, I was going to mail it to her, but I was like, I'll just take it to her, hand deliver, right? So anyway, we got the chairs. So here's the rest of that scoop. Now, if you know, you know. But like when people come over, it's so funny. Our life is like extremes. We either have Danny and I here, or we have a million people here. Like there's not, very rarely is it like we add a third person to our little visiting, rotation. And so I want everybody to have enough chairs, y'all. Is anybody else like this, the weird like that? So that's me. I want everybody to have, and I want them to be comfortable chairs, like not just pulling in the straight back chairs from the dining room, because clearly everybody could sit. But anyway, also we're having a big event in July, and so I was like, oh, like if I needed a reason, and this is such a great reason. Plus, I knew they weren't going to be there. That's the best reason, right? So, that all being said, our realtor is actually also an interior designer, and he doesn't have his own shop anymore or anything like that, but that is just one of his gifts. And he had volunteered when we bought the house almost 2 years ago. If I wanted to help with furniture placement, just let him know. So I've never done that. I hadn't taken him up on that. So I messaged him when we got back, and I was like, hey, is the offer still on the table? I'll bribe you with coffee. I'll bribe you with brownies because I think I need help. So he's coming over tomorrow morning. And so what I thought I'd do is I'm going to video the way the living room looks right now. Now, hopefully there's going to be a new video, because he's going to be like, oh, let me help you, right? Now, if it's not, then hello, yay. You just get to see the chairs and celebrate me now. But and it's so funny too, because my daughter is so into like consignment, thrifting, and I just have not. I've gone a couple of times with her, but it just isn't like where my mind goes first. And I know I would have never even seen that furniture place if it weren't for that huge chair. So cheers to marketing. Let us all remember that if you are an entrepreneur, have something that catches the eye, whether it's social media, live and in person. So let's take a look at the way it is now, the before, and let's see the chairs. And then we'll come back with the after. Okay, so here we are outside. And we're going to go in the front door. This is what you see. So y'all have seen this before when we did, I don't know, Christmas, Valentine's, something. So this area here to my right is the area I was talking about, like having a cozier spot. And so these are the chairs. Aren't they so pretty? And they're so comfy. another requirement, right? So let me like show you around this side. Like, see how beautiful they are? So they almost look like a queen chair. And then the cute pillow. All the Mary Kay for them to like fun, play in, ask about, shop. Okay. And then of course, around the side. And then so I just moved my zebra chair over here. We got a lot going on with the cheetah-liciousness, so we'll see what our friend says. And then it's a huge room, so we got room, but just the placement. What's it called, y'all? Feng shui. Like, is this the best use of the space? And is it the coziest? Okay. And so then let's take a look from this direction. And of course, the other great thing about those big chairs and that zebra chair is so easy to move them. So we're going to see what Jay has to say. And stay tuned. Okay, guys. So my friend came today, our friend, and he worked some magic in like just under a couple hours. So let's get your opinion of the new sitch. See what you think. So opening the door. Here we go. So table stayed the same. And then as you can tell, we have a little bit of some different situations here. So he wanted everything to feel a little cozier. So we have the two beautiful new chairs there. And so lots of cream over here. And then leaving Cheetah-licious in its awesomeness without the tray. And then we have this cozy situation. So a couple more like sitting areas good for conversation, right? So these two people could be talking. This group of three, or somebody could sit on the ottoman too, could be talking. And he had me move my little fun table there. We moved the couch to a totally different place. And he was like, I don't like it. So we moved it back so that it's, cozy and welcoming when you come in, with a nice little side chair there with our beautiful Cleopatra Chase Lounge. He really liked the zebra chair back here, like kind of spotlighted all of its own. But it is easy to pull forward, when we have a bunch of people over. Then he really didn't love the ottoman in front of the chair. So this is interesting to me. So he wanted, because a lot of this is when my customers come in where they sit. So like in that area by the table with Mary Kay and then on my big tray, so that they're just comfy, cozy, but they can put things on their lap or lean over and, look at all the fun stuff. And so when we have people over, his thought was just move the tray, and that can be a whole nother place for sitting, or we could even move the ottoman over here more in front of the fireplace. But he wanted all of this to be a little more open. So coming at it from this direction to kind of give you that bird's eye view. I'm trying to remember all the different views I gave you with the first showing. So we have this angle here. Coming around. Then that cozy seating. And then this cozy corner. So I am dying to hear your thoughts. What do you like best? Do you love the after? Are you like, oh, I really loved the before? Be honest, you won't hurt my feelings. I want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. And it's so funny just to like not run into furniture when you've been used to having it, in a certain place, right? So I'm dying to hear what y'all think. And So definitely leave that below in the comments. One last sweep. I really do love those two massive chairs, kind of on each side of the window. That is a sure sharp look, I think. And I've always loved this shabby chic chair. So here we go. Okay, let me know. Okay, guys, hopefully that was a fun little tour. And what I'm hoping is that maybe it'll spark something creative in your mind of if you want to change some of your spaces around. It doesn't have to be a living room, it could be, your bedroom or a kid room or a family room or an office. But just the fun of we did not add anything or take anything away, right? It was just what we had, of course, with the addition of our two beauties, and that we had just purchased, and then just kind of feeling it out. And I'm telling you, he was here almost 2 hours, y'all. We tried like I bet 8 different arrangements before we were all like, we kind of like it. So let yourself be creative with your ambiance, with your space. Our space matters, like we've talked about on this channel. And sometimes when you're just in a place of it just, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right, that's the best time to listen to yourself, your own intuition, right? And that was one of the things he said. He said, I loved everything the way you did have it, except that those 3 chairs felt like they were all in a row, kind of facing the couch. And I was like, that's exactly what I don't like. So now we've got a couple of cozy little nooks for conversation, still plenty of room for people to watch the TV if they want to do that. And very excited. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you're going to try. And thanks a million for tuning in. See you right back here in just a couple of days.